Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-April 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Gemini collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Geminis in mid-April? It's Aries season, my good friends. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini in mid-April. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. And before I could even get the words out of my mouth, the card pops out. I'll take it. Cool. So we have the Magician. Now, I always like to preface this with the fact that this isn't a regular tarot deck, but this Magician does have a lot of similarities to the Magician in the tarot deck, but there's definitely a little edge to this one, a little difference, especially with the sleight of hand he's got going on. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the April subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about our friend over here. So if you look at the imagery, we have this sharp-dressed magician here. We've got the white dove, the rings, the little coins, doing all sorts of magic tricks, putting on a show. So in one sense, I really like this because it's entertaining and it's fun. So for some Geminis, maybe that's something Spirit's saying, like, hey, maybe you need to lighten the mood or do something you enjoy. Even if you know there's like some tricks going on, just make some time to have fun, right? I always think that's important. But when it comes to the Magician in tarot, it could represent spirituality, some heavy topics, right? So whether it's prayer, ritual, meditation, spiritual practice, that's huge with the Magician. But it's really big when it comes to manifesting and creating. Whatever way, whatever method you decide, this is a very magnetic energy that's pulling a lot of stuff to it. So that's great. Your powers to create in this time could be heightened. The only downside with this card in particular, aside from situations involving control, is that this one is doing sleight of hand, where he's like, hey, look at this hand, while the other hand is over here doing something different. So watch out for illusion. Watch out for certain things not being exactly what they seem. That could be very possible when this card is here. And we'll know if more themes like that show up within the reading, then we'll know. But this could be great just for manifesting things in. So we'll keep it optimistic until some other cards tell us otherwise. Let's let him chill over there. He could keep putting on his magic show. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the beautiful Geminis. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled An Unexpected Win. Beautiful stuff. Now, I always say that wins, victories, they all come in different shapes and sizes. Sometimes it's monetary, sometimes it's work, sometimes it's health, sometimes it's personal relationships. Maybe you just had a couple of really good days where the energy felt nice. If that hasn't happened, if you didn't kind of catch a win out of the blue, that could still pop up because remember, the energy could bleed over for a couple of weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you because we're going to be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for the beautiful Gemini collective. What do we got in mid-April? Yeah, wow. All right, so maybe we're picking up right where we left off. We got the 6 of Wands, which usually is lovely. Beautiful. I always say it's one of my cards of victory, and that would be an understatement because that is a really, really good card to lead off with. Let's get a couple more, especially in a Gemini reading. All right, Queen of Swords, one of your power cards showing up here. Love it. I like where we're going so far, Gemini. Same if you're cross-watching for a Gemini. The energy seems... I don't want to talk too soon, right? We still got some cards to come out. Ace of Pentacles, listen, love the energetic potential that we're seeing here, my good friends. So we might have a pretty nice one on our hands, but let's put that right there. Yeah, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first glance, nice mixture of elements. And I always like to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading, tells us how the energy is going to be flowing. You got a pretty good even mixture. If we had too much of one thing, then things get lopsided. But we have fire, air, and earth. Cool. Now, these could all be separate different things, right? Could be the same thing for all we know, but they each affect energies in a totally different way. Now, when it comes to fire, that is an energy that's very compatible with Gemini. Fire and air usually work very well together. And fire is the realm of action. So, whether it's the actions you take, the actions other people take, the actions you want to take, when I see a fire, I think of health and vitality. I think of energy levels, whether your energy is high, whether it's low. It's passion, it's drive, it's that internal combustion. So I love fire for that. The only downside with fire is its unpredictable nature, right? You know, fire could get a little out of hand, a little out of control. So I always say sometimes this energy could be a little explosive. Just something for us to keep an eye on. Moving to the middle, we have air, your power element, your comfort zone. So even better that it's your power card and power element. Beautiful stuff. Now, air is about the logical, pragmatic mind. It's about the mindset, the mind state. It's great for learning things, absorbing information. You might be thirsting for information. When we see the swords, aka air, that is strong when it comes to communication. So I like that. The only downside to the swords is that it could be a little harsh, a little cold, a little distant or aloof. So you might have a little edge to you in this time, or an edge to your words, especially with this fire air combination here in the front. That could really emphasize things, if that makes sense. And then back here we have Earth. That's more of the material world. That leads into feelings of stability and security. Earth is strong when it comes to your day to day life, day to day routine. It's great for money, work, investments, finances, anything money related. Love the earth here for all of that stuff, home and family, the earthly world we live in. The only downside with earth is that it takes its time. It's very slow, it's very meticulous. So watch out for any things that you think might be moving too slow or they frustrate you a little bit. But overall, we're looking okay. Let's start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, the Six of Wands, as I said, love it. It's one of my cards, a complete and total victory. And we see this individual right here. Looks like he's marching in a parade. He's got his laurels and he is being celebrated. So when I see it, it's like, wow, that went well, to say the least. That went according to plan. Complete and total victory. Whether you're cross watching or otherwise, this is a beautiful card. Now, aside from the victory, this is a big card of notoriety, recognition, kudos, and appreciation for the things that you do. So I like this. It's like a job well done or a pat on the shoulder, like, hey, you did great. So I love this for recognition. This is a huge card when it comes to being in the limelight or getting attention. So again, depending on what you're going through, this could be very good because the Six of Wands is like all eyes on me. So for some of you, this could even be being under the microscope a little bit, where it's like, hey, you might be getting a little more attention than you normally do. Nothing wrong with that. The only downside I always say with this Six of Wands is that it could sometimes be egotistical. So if there's a difference between confidence and ego, and if you're dealing with anybody that has a very heightened ego, you might want to watch out, especially with that Six of Wands, because it's like, whoa, that ego is on full display. Right? And again, there's nothing wrong with some confidence. Now, moving to the center, talk about confidence. We have one of your big power cards, the Queen of Swords. Beautiful. Remember, it's not gender specific. I always say all queens represent the internal aspects of their suit. Told you about the swords, where it's like very knowledgeable, smart, strategic. And the same goes with her. When I see the Queen of Swords, what you see is what you get. She tells it like it is. This is someone where it's like no BS, no nonsense. So it's like very truthful. So I love her for that. It's like I'm not editing what I say. I'm going to speak what I feel, which I think is great. It's great for mind, knowledge, all the things we already spoke about. The only downside to the Queen of Swords, she can sometimes pop up when something is serious or should be taken seriously. So whether there's a situation where it's like, oh, you should take this seriously. Sometimes she could be a little mean. Like this energy could be like, yeah, I'm not messing around. So we'll see. We'll see what the clarifier is. But again, in my simplistic style, in a Gemini reading, remember, not gender specific, a clarifier could just tell us something else that's coming towards you, which is good. So she's bold, she's confident, she's honest. The only downside to her is like she could be a little too honest sometimes. But moving to the back end, we have another very intriguing card to the mix. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Beautiful. I love all aces. They all represent offers and opportunities. They're all huge when it comes to talks and messages. So we really do want to look at this. The Ace of Pentacles in particular, to me, is a golden opportunity where it's like something just plops in your lap. So it fits that theme with what we saw last week, where like something just plops in your lap. This is a great thing. So I like it. The only downside with aces is that they're not a guarantee. They're like a fresh, youthful type of energy where it's like, this looks good, but I need to reach out and grab it if I want to make something more of it. So it's like something with a ton of energetic potential, But aces can also be very flighty, where it's like making a promise but not keeping it, or saying that someone will do something, then they don't do it. So we want to keep a close eye on this. Let's go through. I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that beautiful Six of Wands. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give Gemini, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Six of Wands time. Why is the Six of... I mean, does it... Can it get much better than this? So we have the Nine of Cups underneath the Six of Wands. Like, it's happy, it's comfortable. It's like, yeah, I love this. This is huge, huge. Now, of course, you know me, I'm always going to give you both sides of the coin, right? Like, oh, don't count your chickens before they hatch. And you know how energy is, it's always flowing. But to start a reading off with the Six of Wands, the complete and total victory, clarified by the Nine of Cups, that's wish fulfillment. This is a card that's happy, open, comfortable. This card has more than enough and then some, where it's like, hey, I have plenty of cups. Would you like to come in and share? So I like this. The only thing I would say watch out for is, like, I think it's great to be kind and empathetic, but there's something here about like not letting anyone take advantage. So it's like, be kind, but not too kind, right? Like, that's, I don't know why that's coming through. Where be kind, be empathetic, be giving, but not too much, especially with this Nine of Cups. But I just have to say, again, similar to what we saw last week, at least starting here, this is a massive win or victory. It's huge and it could have a lot of significance. So does that mean that every Gemini in the world is going to have some life changing stuff happen? Not necessarily, right? Like, you know how energy flows. Everyone has a lot of different placements. But as far as energetic potential goes, we can't get much better than this. I feel like this is claimable. Like, something goes your way better than expected. This is beautiful. So we're going to keep moving. Not going to overcomplicate it. It is what it is, right? We'll take that. Let's go in on the Queen of Swords. I just like it. It's also an energy that's open to receive as well. And I think that's always important too, depending on what you're dealing with, depending on what you're manifesting. It's important to not just want a thing, but also be open to actually receiving it. Let's go in on the Queen of Swords. I think it's great. So let's see what the Queen has. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, the wait for something is almost over. That's great. So we have the Three of Wands in reverse, and it's either one of two things. Either somebody's not waiting for something anymore, or the wait is almost over. That's just how it feels. Because usually the Three of Wands is another manifesting card, and we see the person, it's like they're waiting by the shoreline. Oh, those ships are coming in. They're almost here. So whenever I see it in upright, it's like, all right, that's cool. Something's coming in. But in reverse under the Queen of Swords, it's also an energy that's like, I'm happy with it or without it. It's one of those too. So there could be certain things going on or certain things you're dealing with where it's like, you know what, I'll be happy if it comes in. But if it doesn't, it's like one of those. Same for cross watchers, like depending on what's happening. But to me, it just feels like the wait for something's almost over, right? Because with this card in reverse, either it's something that's completely lost its patience or it doesn't even need it anymore. So I think that's good, especially with what I'm picking up here. You know, if I was seeing some really dicey stuff, then I would be warning and stuff like that. This feels like a serious win. Serious, especially with the Queen of Swords, Three of Wands in reverse. Now, as far as advice goes, this could be Spirit saying, like, hey, Gemini, if there's something that you want, there's an outcome that you want, really buy in and knuckle down and get serious about it. Because, like, if you do, there's nothing but good results. So it's like the more serious you get about a result, the better the result. So that's a serious win, my friends. We're going to keep moving. I feel like this reading's flowing, and obviously, you know how life can be, but the energetic potential is just chef's kiss, right? Let's go in on this Ace of Pentacles. We'll see what that has, then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So we had 2 weeks in a row. We're looking pretty good here, Gemini. Looking pretty good. Okay. So we have the Three of Swords in reverse. I think the only problem could be letting somebody else knock you out of your vibration. I think that's super important, especially with both threes showing up in reverse here. Like there's sometimes, and I'm a big believer that the vibrations that we all put off and the energy that we all put off, it can be contagious. Where it's like if we're feeling light and vibrant and happy, like those around us can feel the same thing. Same goes the other way. So, like when I see both threes, I think of threes as groups of people, the people around us, or third party things, obviously. So, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Swords in reverse, just watch for the infectious vibrational frequency. So, if there is somebody where it's like their energy is affecting yours, I'm not saying you need to, you know, disappear from this person. I'm not saying anything like that, but it's like just be aware that like certain individuals' energies could affect you in a positive way. Certain ones, there's a time and a place. So just watch out for the circle around you because I feel a lot of energetic spillover here when I see this. Aside from that, when I see the Ace of Pentacles with the Three of Swords in reverse, this could also be a talk or a conversation that makes me feel happy. It turns my frown upside down. So if you're going through a rough one, this combination, it's like I feel so much better after this. I feel so much better after that conversation, which I love it. I think it's really nice. So overall, the energy is looking pretty good. The only downside is like just watching the circle of people around you, especially if you're energetically sensitive. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. I'm excited. I feel like most of this reading is very claimable for Gemini or even cross watchers. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we start strong with the Six of Wands, Nine of Cups, massive win, victory energy. It's just beautiful. Be kind, not too kind. Don't let anyone take advantage, all that stuff. But we have this beautiful, claimable energy where it's like, I feel set. I have more than enough and then some. Love the result. Moving to the center, we have the Queen of Swords with the Three of Wands in reverse. The wait for something is almost over, or you're deciding not to. It's like I'm good with it or without it. That's kind of like how the energy is presenting to me. But another portion of you, I really like how the energy presents itself. It's strong and it feels like if you take something seriously, you'll get seriously better results. So it feels like a serious win here, especially stacked with what we have here on the front. Moving to the back end, yeah, watch out that anybody doesn't harsh your mellow, because on the back end we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Three of Swords in reverse. Energy's contagious, right? Like so again, just watch out. Like even if you're vibrating on a pretty high place, maybe certain individuals could affect that, especially if you're energetically sensitive. But for another portion of you, this could be a talk or an offer of some kind that turns your frown upside down. So when we combine all of this, I love the energetic profile. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Let's get it going here. One shadow card for the beautiful Geminis, please. Quick, very quick. Seven of Pentacles. I feel like I got this maybe in the Saggy reading too. And this card can be good for reaping what you sow and things paying off. This is a big karmic card as well, where it's like what you put back, you get back in return, all that good stuff. But the big theme with this card is patience. So it's funny to me that we have this energy of a wait for something almost being over, and then we have this card of patience in the shadows. Okay, so again, watch out for people, situations that might be testing your patience when this card shows up. But again, this feels like something that can pay off. So for some of you, even if you're going through a difficult process, this energy to me is like it will be worth the process. It will pay off in the end. Just watch out for frustrations, especially around the speed at which something's moving. That's what this card tells me. So we're going to put that Seven of Pentacles right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the April subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the April subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice winner's choice once again. At the end of the month, I will choose 3 lucky subscribers to either win their choice of the Gilded Tarot Royale or one of the custom-made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So winner's choice. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, you can let me know down in the comments, how much do you know about the meanings of tarot cards? Are you an expert reader? Are you a beginner, intermediate? Do you know a lot? Do you know a little? You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. YouTube changed it. And yeah, that's where it'll be, my friends. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.